As we begin, we imagine a steady, recognizable voice of an ant. Woody Allen, in an expressive state of mind. He proclaims his disturbance of a less than abundant life as a tiny worker ant named Z. There are times where we all feel like we're at our wits' end with life, love, and emotions in general. Not me, of course, but most of us. We may feel as if there's something else out there, or we can do better, we can do more. We can always be doing more. This can't be it for me. You know, the search for something better, the will to be an individual in a dehumanizing society. Once again, not me. We try not to let stuff get us down by seeking help, whether it be talking to friends, talking to our family, or even a therapist. Sometimes this does us good, and sometimes it helps us to realize what we're missing, or it helps us to find a breakthrough, so to speak, that we may have needed. In the beginning of the movie Antz, a voiceover begins where a worker ant named Z recounts his problematic and mediocre life and psychological problems on the anthill with his therapist, which also, you guessed it, is an ant. All my life, I've lived and worked in a big city. There's gotta be something better out there. But maybe I think too much. The movie retracts from a black shadow city skyline, down into the dirt, into the deep earth and the grass, down through dirt-ridden, self-dug ant tunnels into a dark tunnel chamber where we can picture Z, the worker ant, laying on a couch, talking to his therapist, who we can assume is an ant. This ant, Z, can leave you thinking, I can relate to this guy. Z is living in a conformist, totalitarian ant society without any kind of individuality, and he's struggling. In his opening monologue, he complains about his insignificant life during therapy to his psychologist, who concluded their discussion with, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a dramatic monologue of an ant named Z, who is the main star in a movie titled Antz." How clever. Written and directed by Tim Johnson and Eric Darnell. All my life, I've lived and worked in the big city, which now that I think of it, is kind of a problem, since I always feel comfortable around crowds. I mean, I have this fear of enclosed spaces. Everything makes me feel trapped all the time. You know, I always tell myself, there's got to be something better out there. But maybe I think too much. I think everything must go back to the fact that I had a very anxious childhood. You know, my mother never had time for me. You know, when you're in the middle child in a family of 5 million, you don't get any attention. I mean, how is it possible? And I've always had these abandonment issues, which plagued me. My father was basically like a drone, like I've said. And you know, the guy flew away when I was just a larva. And my job, don't get me started on, because it really annoys me. I was not cut out to be a worker. I'll tell you right now, I feel physically inadequate. My whole life, I've never been able to lift more than 10 times my own body weight. And when you get down to it, handling dirt is, ugh. It's not my idea of a rewarding career. It's this whole gung-ho superorganism thing that you know, I can't, I try, but I can't get it. I mean, you know, what is it? I'm supposed to do everything for the colony? And what about my needs? What about me? I mean, I gotta believe there's someplace out there that's better than this. Otherwise, I'll just curl up in a larval position, throw my hands on my head, and weep. This whole system makes me feel insignificant. Excellent! You've made a real breakthrough! I have? Yes, see? You are insignificant. I am?